This is Border Crossings. I'm Larry London, and today we welcome the husband-wife team of Kirsten and Johnny, the Hawthorns. On tour in support of their latest CD, Morning Sun, the Hawthorns have been recording for years with other projects. Kirsten was a member of the band Calico, and her solo material has been heard on popular TV shows like Friday Night Lights and Dawson's Creek, while Johnny performed with Toad the Wet Sprocket. Guitar Magazine has compared Johnny's guitar playing to the great Jimi Hendrix. Their new CD is a collection of personal experiences which reflect what they refer to as the soul of California country. Join us for today's guests, the Hawthorns, coming up next on Border Crossings.
We were in the dark.
Hi, welcome to Border Crossings. My name's Larry London in our studios today on tour for a brand new album called Morning Sun. We would like to welcome to Washington and to the Voice of America, the Hawthorns. They're here. Hello.
We're here. How's it going, Larry?
It's great to have both of you here, husband and wife team.
Husband and wife.
No
Exactly.
less.
He's the husband, I'm the wife.
He's the husband, you're the wife. And you guys have had very vast, successful solo careers as well.
Well, we've had solo careers.
You've had solo.
But no, we've done a lot.
And you've been in several bands and
Yep.
and
And so is he. Yeah, we've done all kinds of different things. I was in a band the last 5 years called Calico the Band, a female trio that toured nationally, and we had some success at radio, and we had several songs on TV shows and things like that, and it was a really fun thing to do. It was beautiful, 3-part harmonies and fiddles. Yeah.
and so this is now Morning Sun's the first album as the Hawthorns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is it going to be similar to Calico? Is it going to be very different? Or
very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Isn't that risky? You change your name,
Right.
and then you put out something different than what your fans are
But
accustomed
it's
to.
Totally.
liberating too, right?
It's liberating. It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting. And new beginnings, lots of twirls and curves and turns and twists.
That's why it's called Morning Sun.
Uh-huh.
The title track is called Morning Sun, and it's obviously it's a song about starting over and just seeing what the new day will bring, and anything can happen. He's had quite the career himself. He's played in all kinds of bands and done 3 solo records himself, and it's just it's a new exciting thing. And I knew that when we got together, I think we both kind of thought that this was going to be an adventure. This togetherness was going to be an adventure, and this is part of the adventure.
And this is KP and Johnny.
Yeah.
And you were in Toad the Wet Sprocket and Everclear. And
Yeah, I played as a side guy for those bands. That's what I used to do, is do a lot of side musician type gigs where they hire you to go on the road to add to the sound of the band. Exactly. And did that for a while and did my own thing. I had 3 CDs out, and my personal style is more of a Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix kind of blues oriented style. And so she was coming from a different perspective from songwriting and style wise. We wanted to meld the two together, not really compromise, but try to just blend the two. So it really is a new project in that respect.
there's a lot of pressure, I guess, for you for many reasons, but I read where you have been compared, your guitar style has been compared to Jimi Hendrix, your vocals have been compared to the Eagles. Those are some big name comparisons.
Yeah, that was in Guitar Player magazine.
Right.
They wrote that about him.
Right.
All right. Well,
One guy, you sound like the Eagles.
I know.
One guy. He's got the whole band sound going.
I'm very flattered, and it was very nice to hear that. But I think Kirsten is a unique singer, and she's very strong in her own. And it seemed like when I was doing the solo project, it's very hard to be a singer and a guitar player, lead guitar player. It's not as easy as people think. And I felt like my strong suite was more of playing guitar and backing somebody. But I had to do the solo thing because I just couldn't find a singer that to sing certain stuff. So when we got together, it was great that she's such a strong singer, and then I can kind of just focus on guitars and backup vocals, of course.
And what came first? Was it the romance and the marriage, then the music? Or was the music first, and then you said we fell in love making music? And how did this process work for you?
I think we just fell
guys?
in love, and music was part of it all the time. but we didn't create anything together musically until a few years later, because I was doing Calico and it was very rigorous. We were touring, we were recording, we were putting out our second album, and he didn't want our thing to get in the middle of that. He knows, I mean, it takes, all hands on deck to make something go in this climate, in this musical, the music business is so hard. And we didn't want to distract from that. And the second that the Calico project came to a close, we said, now it's time. And we started on our record right away. So
Yeah.
it was always there, floating around in the air, but we didn't grab onto it until it was time.
Did you write the songs together? Is that a
Some of them,
collaborative
yeah.
thing? Okay.
She had some that were already written. There's actually a song that we redid that was on the last Calico record. And there was a song that we redid that was on one of my records as well. And then there was a couple that we wrote together, or 3 or 4, and then a couple that she wrote with other writers.
It works, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they got a chemistry at
It
home and
definitely-
on the road and in the studios, which
We
is
like
wonderful.
each other.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen that often these
Not
days.
really.
We've got the HawtThorns here, so would you guys do a song for us?
Sure. We're going to do our first single off the new record. This one's called Shaking.
Shaking.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Our timing is always off. That's our history, my friend. The cycle is long, and I'm not strong enough to watch it go around again. I feel so heavy now, as low as a baritone. I've got plans to lighten up, even if I gotta do it alone. It's time we leave behind what we've outgrown. Ooh, we were shaking when we should have been swaying. Ooh, we were screaming when we should have been singing. Ooh, we were thinking when we should have been feeling. We were in the dark when we should have been in love. Remember when we met, playing clubs and raising hell. Up till the sun, what's done is done, and we can't unring that bell. I'm getting in my ride with a suitcase and a smile. It's time to face, I gotta put this place in the rear view for a while. To echo those mistakes is not my style. Ooh, we were shaking when we should have been swaying. Ooh, we were screaming when we should have been singing. Ooh, we were thinking when we should have been feeling. We were in the dark when we should have been in love. When two lives cross, love is in disguise. What do you see when you look in my eyes? Ooh, we were shaking when we should have been swaying. Ooh, we were screaming when we should have been singing. Ooh, we were thinking when we should have been feeling. We were in the dark when we should have been in love. Should have been in love. Oh, oh, oh.
Great. The Hawthorns. So if he's the Eagles, you must be Sheryl Crow, because your voice, I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah, we get that comparison sometimes. I
Wow.
don't mind. That doesn't make me mad at all.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean it with the most respect.
Yeah, I
mean,
love
she's
her.
Certainly regarded as a great singer.
She is, and a great songwriter too. So, yeah.
Now, one thing I want to
totally
ask
happy.
you guys, okay, I hear this term all the time, and keeping in mind we have an international audience who probably hear this term thrown around a lot and may not understand it. So you guys make Americana music. What is Americana music?
Tell me, and we'll both know.
That's the label that they've applied to you. And I know this is a business of labels.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think it's a business of formats, and there are, with the whole electronic revolution of music throughout time. I'm going to get super in depth here for a second.
all right.
But
comfortable.
get seated. I think, all of the digital stuff that happened over the past decades, and now with pop music being so easy to make, you can make it on your, there's a thing called bedroom pop, and these artists make music in their bedrooms on their laptops with GarageBand and other things. And there are artists who have sold a lot of records and do big tours on their bedroom albums.
Charlie Puth. He admits
Charlie
he made his
Puth.
album on
J-Som.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here are these artists and pop artists who are using all kinds of technology and everything. And there are still out there artists like us who are playing chords on their guitar and piano and drums and doing a live band thing, getting in the studio as a band and writing songs that have a traditional aspect to them in whatever way. Maybe it's reminiscent of country, maybe it's reminiscent of 70s singer-songwriter, which is the very popular genre still. And I think that, and it also extends to some blues, and it's a wide, big umbrella. But I think that it's about people who are making music, writing songs, real songs that have a chorus and a verse, and maybe they're interesting, maybe they're more traditional, but it's about real live music with that coming from that perspective.
I like
What do
that.
you think, Johnny?
I really like that explanation.
I think too, like back in the day, Rolling Stones would have been counted as Americana, because they did a lot of rock, they did country, they
Sure.
did blues.
Crossover stuff.
Yeah. So,
Who's to say now?
yeah.
We'd have to go back in time for that, but
But-
I could see it.
But I think it's basically bands that kind of cross over styles, and they're not really country, they're not really rock, they're everything. So that's Americana.
And I like your approach to this album. As you say, you actually played the instruments. It sounds kind of raw, organic, or maybe even old-fashioned, the way they used to make records. You didn't have all the technology and the tricks and the bells and whistles that they now put into music.
I mean, it's nice because we do get the use of some of those bells and whistles, and everybody uses them to an extent, but it's nice to hear the rich warmth of a beautiful tube amp and somebody like this who can play their guitar. And it's hopefully not a lost art. Hopefully it will continue.
Now, speaking of art, speaking of the new album, very creative CD cover. I don't know, if probably showing the slide, but, a little cartoon animated character drawing of both of you guys, which looks good. I mean,
Yeah, it's not a funny story, but we originally wanted to use a photograph of the exact same thing. That was going to be the front cover. And we had an artist.
Her name's Angelica Clemmer. She goes by Gel Z,
Yeah.
Gelz,
So she
I
was
like
going to
Gel
make.
Z.
a Venice artist.
I'm not sure why we to do poster or something.
Well, what she was going to do is we were going to make our artwork with the picture, the actual photograph, and then we were going to put sort of a layer of paint over it. And then she ended up just painting the whole thing, and we saw it and went, wow,
That's the
this
album
is
cover.
way cooler than our
Yeah.
stupid idea. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not the visual artists.
Well, a lot of people don't realize how much work and thought is put into creating an album cover, for example.
Yeah.
There's a Grammy for it that
Exactly.
they give out even.
It's amazing, and I know especially when you're releasing the first album under a new name with a new product, you picking the songs was probably quite an effort because you
Yeah.
had to sit and decide what are we going to put on here. and then how we're gonna address this with the cover and whatnot. So I'm sure it took a while.
It did. There's so many things. We could go on for days.
Well, yeah, and it's like when I think about that was like, what, 6 months almost ago. It was a big deal at the time, and we did it. And now we're on the road, and that seems like a million years ago when we were deciding that stuff. But super important, the decisions you make then, because now you're repping the CD, and if you chose artwork that you don't like,
Right.
Like,
It's a
why
little
did I
late,
do
right?
that? Yeah.
I've seen artists change an album cover too along the
Wow,
way,
okay.
which is kind of very bizarre to do. So what's the reaction like from the fans? What are you hearing from the people who are coming out to see you about the new album, the new music? What are they saying?
I mean,
all positive, really.
everybody likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain songs that people relate to more
Man,
so than
it's all
others.
over the
Is
board.
there one that's
It's
like,
crazy.
wow, this is really hitting me?
Even
and-
songs that I didn't think that would be like, there was songs on there I'm like, some people might like this, but a lot of people like different songs.
Oh,
and-
we crack up because we're getting a lot of good reviews in right now. If we don't say so ourselves, we're getting all kinds
should.
of great ink. And at the end, they'll say the notable songs are, and it's let's see what they say, and they're all over. They pick all the different songs on the
Yeah,
record. have
That's
been
great
picked.
because I know from the business side, a lot of times, record labels and management people will say, "Here's the single, here's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
song." The artists say, "This is the one I'm really particularly fond of," but it didn't
Right.
get released as a single, but it's it's there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you pick a single for a particular reason because it's going to radio. And you have to be cognizant of what is going to play on the radio. Like, for example, ballads, it's harder with a ballad, even though we have a beautiful ballad on our record called the 405, the people love, but it's going to be harder. So we went with shaking. We like shaking. I mean, we like all our songs. So
Yeah. Was
we're
the
bad
405
ones to
named after
ask.
the highway in California?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. We have the Hawthorns with us. Would you do another song?
Yeah, let's do. We're gonna do our second single, which is called "Rebel Road," and this is for the ladies.
For the ladies. Why is it for the ladies?
This is a song that's about a woman who's taking control of her life, and she might not be doing it the way that everybody thinks she should, but she's gonna do it. She's gonna take the rebel road. There she goes, she's leaving tonight. The signs were there, but nothing seemed right. The trail was overgrown, and the path is not her own. And it's time to get moving on. Said it's time to be living right, 'cause the queen of the desperados ain't no life. Her hopes are on the wing. To know yourself is everything, and her time had just begun. Oh, when she gets there, she'll know where she's been going. All the gates will open and the love is overflowing. There's a storm within her eyes and a fever in her soul. Everywhere she goes, she takes the rebel road. The strength inside is coming on. She's a dreamer, and her life is a song. Her wild heart will beat to its own rhythm, and it keeps her strong. She won't look back for long. Oh, when she gets there, she'll know where she's been going. All the gates will open and the love is overflowing. There's a storm within her eyes and a fever in her soul. Everywhere she goes, she takes the rebel road.
looks so starry-eyed and waiting on the wind. But she don't need wings to fly, she's soaring in her head. There are reasons why we end up where we do until we stand up and begin. Oh, when she gets there, she'll know where she's been going. 'Cause all the gates will open and the love is overflowing. There's a storm within her eyes and a fever in her soul. Everywhere she goes, she takes the rebel road. She takes the rebel road.
I love it. The Hawthorns.
Sorry.
On the Voice of America, promoting their new album, Morning Sun. So are you going internationally with this tour? Will we be seeing you outside of the
We're
United
working
States?
on a UK thing right now for the end of January.
That would be great. Where is the most interesting, or should I say, unique place you've ever gotten inspiration for a song? To write a song. You've been out there driving around, or did it come in a dream? I hear a lot of artists who tell me, woke up in the middle of the night, there was a song.
That's how it happens for
That's
me
how
a
in the
lot.
bathroom, taking a shower, another song.
Right.
You know.
By the time I'm eating breakfast, the whole record's
That's
done.
it. You finish the album.
I mean, for me, the coolest song that I got out of a weird experience was the 405 song. And that's because I met him and we started our relationship, and it was pretty new still. But the 405 is a song about a new, beautiful thing that nothing can, come against. Nothing can get in there and ruin it except for that freeway, the 405. Because
Oh, yeah.
I lived in
Rush hour
Burbank at
traffic.
the time, and he lived in Venice Beach. So everybody who knows LA knows that there's a treacherous freeway out there called the 405, and it can ruin lives.
I lived in Calabasas. I know.
Okay, you know.
All right.
I know very well.
Yeah, and so that song, we got nothing between us but the 405. That's the song. I was
I
sitting
love
in
it.
traffic when I wrote
When
that.
that song came to you. Angrily upset like the rest of California on that highway.
Yeah.
5-lane highway, 5 or 6. There's a big,
I
big
know.
Always
highway.
traffic.
And I
Yeah.
think they were working on it in the middle of the night. So
Yeah.
like even in the at nighttime, it was always
Yeah.
jammed up. So
Yeah.
Has it always been music for you? Has that always been what you,
Always.
from little girl on up?
Yep. I was
Never a
raised
doubt.
well.
You were raised well.
Yeah.
You knew what you wanted to do.
My
early. That's
mother
great.
raised me on all good records. I got to
Who
give
did you
her
grow
all
up
the
listening
credit.
to?
So my mom was a big fan of all of the Laurel Canyon sound.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my entire background. Jackson Brown, Joni Mitchell, the Mamas and the Papas, the Crosby, Stills and Nash, Neil
Mm-hmm.
Young, all of that music that happened
Mm-hmm.
in California in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. She had all those records and kept them forever. And now somehow I commandeered her records, but I have them in our house in Nashville. But Linda Ronstadt too.
Oh, yeah.
The Eagles, the Byrds, Flying Burrito Brothers, all that stuff. So
From SoCal.
yeah,
That's
it's part of my blood.
You were destined to be doing what you're doing. And I know you've had some music in TV shows here in the United States. So how does somebody go about getting their music in TV shows?
Johnny,
well, it's a lot
We both
harder
do it.
than it used to be because it used to be kind of a secret. I mean, not a secret per se, but you didn't need to do that because you could sell CDs and stuff. But after bands stopped selling CDs, labels were like, well, let's place the songs. So, and then also there's sort of auxiliary music that's going on in TV shows while other stuff is going on. It's not as high.
Sure.
And so,
And they don't play the whole song either. It's, you just get a 30 seconds of it. you
Just
know.
like featured songs, there's unfeatured songs, background stuff. Personally, I've had songs placed in featured ones, and usually it's just hooking up with these people called music supervisors and building relationships there. And then that way, when something comes across their desk, they're like, I know what song to use.
Johnny gets commissioned a lot to do music for
Yeah.
cues and stuff for TV.
How about films? Have you guys done music?
I
for
have.
films?
I mean, so
I haven't had films.
I've done more. I haven't done the cues like he does. I do. I worked with a couple different companies through the last decade that just they pitch your music for TV, and so I got really lucky. I got really lucky.
Some
I
big
mean,
shows.
In the beginning
Dawson's
days,
Creek,
yeah. Friday Night Lights. I got Rizzoli. I mean, I just like almost every cable show that was on. There's a cable show called Say Yes to the Dress. And I would see my BMI statement, and it would just say yes to the dress, episode 102. Say yes to the dress, episode 103. Like they just kept using the songs over and over, which is really nice.
Yes, yeah, royalties.
And there's a company in LA that we are going through now, and they haven't gotten anything for the new record yet, but we're really crossing our fingers because we think this record belongs on television.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the show? I mean, is it the Shark Tank or?
Oh no.
No, it's a company. It's a
Okay,
one of
So
the
we're working with them to place the
Yeah.
music
Gotcha,
with the
gotcha,
shows,
gotcha.
yeah.
Well, your music should be played everywhere because I mean you really have a great sound. I really like the harmonies and.
Thank you.
No, seriously, it's
fun.
Morning Sun is the debut album. I'm sure the journey's just beginning for you as the HawtHorns.
Just beginning.
And so this is exciting times. And what do you got planned for 2020? Have you thought that far out? Anything ahead?
We need to build our team a little thicker. We have a few needs, and then we're planning on just touring and recording more music. As long as it keeps going well.
Yeah.
Who do you want to work with? Any other people you want to collaborate with beyond Johnny? As you want to expand this and.
I mean, you have a wish list.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'd like to open up for a couple of artists and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know who's touring now, you know, or who would be compatible.
Who's at the top of your wish list? If you could name who you'd open
man.
for.
Wow, that's a big question.
It's kind of like picking your favorite guitar player. I don't know.
Yeah,
They might be listening right now.
if
So
I
that's
could-
better
if I
be
could just-
careful.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to pick anybody.
Anybody.
I would love to play and work with Brandi Carlile.
Oh,
I would love that more than
she's been on
anything.
this show.
Really?
Yeah, she was here. Yeah.
I hear nothing but good things about her. I've
Mm-hmm.
never met her, but I hear as
That
a
would be great.
human and in the studio how professional she is, and I watch all the things. She just did the new Tanya Tucker record.
Mm-hmm,
She's incredible, and then I love this high women thing that she just. And I know you know that had to be her idea. You know, she seems like a firecracker.
But we are thrilled to have you guys here. We have enough time for one more song, if you wouldn't
Okay,
mind doing
we'd
another
love
song.
to.
We've got the HawtHorns with us. We're talking about the new album, Morning Sun.
This one is called Broken Wings, and I will try not to mess it up, Johnny. I promise. I'll do my best. This is the third single off of our new record. 1, 2, 1, 2.
The
Thank you so
Hawthorns,
much.
KP, Johnny. So tell me, where can we go to get the album? Where can we go to find your tour schedule? What websites? Where do we have to go?
Okay, now everybody listen very carefully.
Write this down.
This is the hard part. You'll be quizzed later. TheHawthorns.com. Now, having said that, there are 2 T's in the Hawthorns and no E. Get your head around that.
Now you got to spell it.
It's
now
like HawtThorns, like the HawtThorns.com. All the things will be there.
Everything you need.
Yes.
And social media.
Yeah,
same thing?
we're Twitter at the Hawthorns, Instagram at the Hawthorns, Facebook at the Hawthorns Music.
Well, I've enjoyed
We'll
meeting
see
both
you
of you.
there.
You guys sound great.
Thank
and I'm
you.
excited
Thanks for
about the
having
new
us.
album. It's finally nice to see a full album out, versus EPs all the time. So thank you guys for doing this.
Thanks for having us so much, Larry.
Yeah, welcome to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
They are the Hawthorns. The album is Morning Sun. My name is Larry London, and this is Border Crossings.